Okay, this is the last bit of Varro for a while. In the springtime, vernal time, um, these same things are sown, same plants, in the plains. A bit earlier, mature, you sow them. Um, those which are in the upper hills, etc. Um, then those, cogunter can mean forced, but it's used for gathered. So the things that are sown in the plains earlier and quicker, you can harvest them as well than in the highlands. We have neck non, which cancels each other out. So in the upwards, things are sown and harvested slower or later than crops that are planted deorsum downwards in the plains. Quaedam. Certain things in mountainous lands, they're born that grow prolixia, which is taller and firmer on account of the cold, such as the abies and the pine, what's that, a fir tree or something, and the poplar tree and salices, which are willows, that are tepidoria, that are warmer. So up in the mountains, it's colder, and in contrast here, they're poplar and willows where it's warmer. Upwards, things that are more fertilia, more fertile maybe. We've got the arbutus and the oak, the quercus. Downwards, the Greek nuts and this type of fig here. These Greek nuts, I forgot what they're called. Give me a second. Almond nuts. Okay, almond nuts. In the humilibus colobusses, in the low hills, they have more of a society with the things growing on the plain in fruit-wise ways than with the mountains. But in the high hills, contrarily. Okay, so low hills are like plains, high hills are where the mountainous things grow. On account of these three different fastigias of form, which are, this is how you should sow them. Segs is crop things. They are better thought to be in the hills. Vines are better for the hills, and trees are best grown in the mountains. Okay, make a daily dictionary of fastigia. Here's the Lewis and Short. A leading or chief point, a principle. So it's the three main points. Usually fastigia is a peak, I think if we go up the top of a gable, extremity of a thing. Sometimes it's the lower part when it comes to a trench. The fastigia of the trench is the depth. But yeah, here's the normal part. The highest part, summit, is what it typically is. So plerumqui. Generally, winter is better for these who cultivate in the plains, because then the meadows, the pratas, are very herbose. They're green and herby. And it's more tolerable for the putatio, which is the cutting and trimming of trees. Contrarily, aestiva, summertime's more commodious in the mountain places, because then there's much pabulum, which is fodder for your herbivore animals that you got, like cows, I suppose, and because in the campuses and the plains it's dry, and it's more aptior for the culture of trees, because then there the air is cooler, frigidior. A campesta locus, a plain place, it's better where the whole totus, the whole thing, is equally verging or sloping towards one direction, than that which is equal, completely level basically, because this one is where it doesn't have a delapsum, an escape or a slope for the water. So therefore it is accustomed to happen that it gets oinganosis, which is marshy. All the more if something is unequal, so much more it is worse, because on account of this that happens that the lacunas, these are puddles and lakes, so any holes you have in the ground get very watery if it's flat. These and fastigia, these three fastigias, we saw these three main points of this type. So these three types and things of this nature, they have a disparellita. I guess that's different. They have a different momentum or effect to the cultivation of your fields. I don't think you'll see Disparilla used very often. Chapter 7 of Varro. Stolo, looks like a quote because they use capital letters in the Latin library. What pertains to this natural form or these natural circumstances? Concerning this, Cato doesn't seem to have been incommodious or wrong here when he wrote the optimal farm or land to be that which is situated under the roots of the mountain and looks out to the Mediterranean, that's the south, part of the sky. Scroffer interjects something concerning the culture of formae, the conformations here, I'll say, concerning what is more Venustia, which is more pleasant and pleasing in appearances. We follow these, they have more fructu, there's more fruitfulness or rewards, as these have arbustas, which are orchards, that can be sown with, this thing looks like a coin or something, but it looks like it's probably some sort of fruit, an account of the orders and the modest intervals. So there's set intervals and you plant trees in rows, so if it's got a good form and it's very pleasing to the eye, it can be sown well. Okay, so I'll try and do this a bit faster. And so our ancestors from equal fields, which were sown badly, from equal and great farms, so the same size our ancestors sowed, there was a lot less, and the crops they got were less good. This quincunum thing, this is sowing in an order like you see a 5 on a dice, which isn't exactly order, but it's an arrangement they must use. Anyway, they made wine and their grains, which each one was put into its place. It was placed there and occupied less of the space. I guess they didn't order it out, and they did less work against the sun and the moon and the wind, so they didn't block each other from the wind and give the right shading. This one conjecture one may see from several rebuses. Circumstances, whole nuts, which you're able to grasp and put into one. This is a limit or a value, a modius. It's like a weight. So if they're whole, the amount you can put into one modium. This is the natural composition of these shells, the putamines. If you put them in there, so the whole with the shells. If you break the shells open, scarcely you're able to fit in 1.5, so I guess they're comparing the harvest there. You could pack one whole lot or crack them open and get 1.5, so you're being more profitable. Besides, trees which are sown in an order and a line, equally they bake in all parts. The sun and the moon bake them, by which it happens with this good light from the moon. I don't know, the moon really affects things by light, but anyway, grapes and olives, they are more born or more grow, and quickly they mature, which two matters. So you have one thing which becomes twice as much, and it returns more of the must and of the oil, and you get more of a price when you sell it. Okay.